It is evening now, and quiet settles. It fills the corners of the kitchen. Perhaps you just finished a simple meal. A bowl of warm rice or gentle soup. A slice of toast with a little butter. There is a stillness when eating alone. A softness to the clinking of a fork. The silent scrape of an empty bowl, and yet, a question for your table tonight. Why do some kitchens feel so welcoming? Even small ones, modest ones, feel warm, while others, clean and orderly, feel unlived in? Most people assume it's simply money, a bigger space, or better lighting. New shelves, something purchased. But a quieter truth I learned slowly. Sometimes a room changes without new furniture. It is something living, something small enough for your palm. Yet it changes the feeling of an evening. And there is one mistake almost everyone makes. A small, well-meaning error in the first week. It weakens the plant, silently stealing comfort. The comfort the plant was meant to bring. Have you felt that subtle ache for connection? A longing for welcome without demanding money? Or needing more of your energy? Stay with me. Not chasing perfection, but building warmth tonight in the smallest possible way. We will do it with one humble companion, one pot, one living, breathing presence. And you will quickly know if you chose right. Imagine for a moment, just one small plant, not fussy or demanding of a gardener's touch. No sun-drenched conservatory needed here. Something humble, asking little, giving much. An herb, a scented memory maker, waiting to unfold its quiet story in your living space. For me, that herb has often been basil, not the sprawling, sun-loving garden varieties, but a small pot of sweet basil, a perfect companion for your kitchen window. Its vibrant, optimistic green leaves hold a promise of summer, even on gray days, and its fragrance, a soft, peppery sweetness. It is instantly comforting. It speaks of warm meals, sun-drenched hillsides, simple joys that do not need a grand budget. But here is the first small secret. Basil is not only a flavor. It is a signal. When basil is happy, it changes the room in ways you don't notice all at once, until the kitchen feels less empty one evening. When basil struggles, it teaches your home things you may never have noticed before. Where true light is, where air truly moves, where warmth gathers and quietly disappears. So this small plant is more than decoration. It becomes a gentle mirror, a quiet teacher. Now the first step is often the simplest. If you invite this quiet companion home, the gentle journey to a local nursery, or even a supermarket might reveal it, where you find a small pot already thriving. But don't choose quickly. Not every green plant is truly well, and the difference truly matters, more than most people realize it does. Choose one that looks healthy, unblemished leaves. A good, strong green color, yes, but also look much closer. Seek a plant that stands up on its own, not one that droops as if holding its breath. Gently lift a leaf and glance underneath. If you see pale speckling or sticky residue, or tiny webbing, the plant battles already. It will ask more than you deserve to give. Here is a simple test many people skip. Take your time. Don't rush the decision. Feel the subtle weight of the pot. Observe the delicate texture of the leaves. Then, if you can, lean in close. Catch a soft whisper of its scent. If the fragrance is faint, almost absent, the plant has likely lived in stress. If the fragrance rises easily, even a little, it is already offering you its presence. This is not merely a purchase. It's an invitation. You are choosing a living anchor now. It will root itself not just in soil, but in the rhythm of your daily life. And once you've made your choice, cradle it. Carry it gently on the way home now. A quiet anticipation blooms within you before it even crosses your door's threshold. But this is where the first mistake occurs. People bring basil home now. They place it where it looks pretty, not where it can truly live. They place it where it feels bright to human eyes. The plant slowly starves in plain sight there. So when you bring it into your kitchen, finding its rightful place is a small ritual. Perhaps by the sink, catching morning light, or on a small window shelf, where it observes your daily comings and goings. This quiet friend needs light, yes, but not direct scorching sun all day. Here is the gentle rule for basil. It wants brightness, but it also wants steadiness. a bright spot to gather energy it needs, to unfurl new leaves without being baked, without being exhausted. That spot is perfect. And here's how you'll know the placement is right. You'll see within just a few days. If the plant begins reaching and leaning now, dramatically toward the window, stretching its neck, that light is not enough for it. Basil is polite, so it doesn't complain. It simply grows thin, long and weary. But if it stays upright now and offers small new leaves at its center, you have found the place where warmth gathers. As you set it down, brush its foliage lightly, and there it is, the first wisp of aroma, rising gently into the kitchen air. It is a subtle shift, barely perceptible, a change in the room's atmosphere, but it is there. A silent acknowledgement that something has begun. And that is your first moment of welcome, not a dramatic one, not for photographing, just the quiet feeling. Your kitchen is more. No longer only a room, but a small habitat, a place where something quietly thrives beside you. Now comes the rhythm of daily life. Tending your basil is slow, undemanding, grounding. It's not about strict rules, but observation. Learning to listen to the plant's subtle cues. You'll find yourself looking at it each morning. A new habit's slowly forming. And here is the second mistake people make. They water basil on a fixed schedule. Monday, Thursday, little splashes, just in case. And basil, again, is polite. It accepts the water and says nothing. But inside the pot, roots begin to suffocate. So instead we do something much simpler. We listen to the plant. Is the soil dry to the touch? A gentle finger pressed into the earth will tell. Not just the surface. The surface can lie. Press a little deeper, one finger's width down. If it feels parched, then yes, a modest drink of water is all it asks, poured slowly until it trickles from the pot. If it still feels cool and slightly damp, the kindest thing you can do is wait. Waiting here is not neglectful. It is genuine care. It is respect for the plant's quiet breath. This watering becomes a quiet exchange. Not a chore, but an act of shared sustenance. As water soaks in, you might notice something. The leaves perk up ever so slightly, as if the plant has released held tension. Over days and weeks, this simple act, it weaves a delicate thread between you. In this small patch of vibrant green, it becomes a moment to pause, to breathe, to connect with something alive. Then, as days turn into weeks, you notice growth. New, tiny leaves emerge from the center, stretching softly towards the available light. And here we enter a gentle art now, one that sounds a little severe. Pinching, it sounds harsh, doesn't it? But it is truly an act of generosity. If you never pinch basil, it will grow tall. It will reach upward, thin and leggy, like someone on tiptoe for attention. The leaves, though still useful, feel less abundant. They feel much less giving overall. So when your basil plant grows leggy now, reaching too high, you can gently pinch off. Pinch off the top set of leaves, right above a lower set of leaves. This encourages the plant to branch out, to become much bushier, to produce more leaves, rather than just taller. It is a small, precise movement, a moment of gentle intervention from you. And it carries a quiet lesson, this act. Sometimes growth becomes fuller not by pushing, but by choosing where to pause now. And the leaves you've pinched off, those are your first small treasures. The first tangible harvest from your companion. Hold them to your nose. Inhale their vibrant scent, and notice what happens inside you then. Because this is not only a plant, it is a living source of flavor, yes, but also a living source of anticipation. Now we arrive at what people think is the point. The act of cooking. But I want you to notice something deeper. The real magic does not begin in the pot or in the pan on the stove. It begins in the movement toward the plant. The simple step to the window. The small pause you take. The deliberate choosing of leaves. That bowl of plain rice? Now, with finely chopped basil leaves stirred through, perhaps with a drizzle of olive oil, it transforms now, not into luxury, but into intention. The simple soup, a fresh basil garnish, it changes its character entirely. Adding depth, a whisper of the garden now. A certain brightness that feels so alive. Even that toast slice, with torn basil leaves. And a sprinkle of salt now feels better. Less a quick necessity, more a gentle pleasure. One you chose for yourself, thoughtfully. The flavor is immediate, vibrant, utterly fresh. In a way, dried herbs rarely achieve this. More important than taste is the shift in feeling, because you did not simply eat your meal. You prepared a small welcome. You made the meal feel like it belonged to you, and over time, something else quietly happens. Something people never expect from just an herb. The plant itself changes the entire room. It's no longer just a kitchen anymore. It becomes a space with a living heart. The subtle scent of basil, even not cooking, lingers gently in the air. A constant presence. A truly comforting presence you will notice. And this is where the comfort truly deepens. Because it is not a one-time event. It becomes a quiet background companionship. Like someone nearby who doesn't demand talk, but simply exists there with you. A gentle reminder of growth, always. Of pure vitality. Of simple beauty found in small things. As you continue to tend, to watch it grow, to harvest its leaves, a shared routine forms. A quiet, comforting rhythm. Small acts of care become an anchor. Not loud, not dramatic, but steady in your day. When life feels hurried or noisy outside, that steadiness becomes something truly precious. Now, if, listening closely, you sense where this leads. Basil is generous, but also seasonal. As seasons shift, light outside softens. Your basil plant prepares for colder months. It loves warmth. As autumn descends now, its growth slows. Leaves become less vigorous. This is not a failure. It is a natural drawing inward. But here's a small curiosity many don't consider. Not until it is far too late. How do you keep the comfort now? When the plant can no longer keep itself, you can help by keeping it in the brightest spot, the warmest spot in your kitchen. Move it from drafty windows at night. But there may come a time now when even the kindest indoor environment is not enough. Not enough to keep it thriving as in summer. This does not mean your journey ends. Far from it, a new chapter begins. This is where quiet preparedness truly starts. Before deepest cold sets in for good. While your plant is still reasonably robust, embark on a small, deeply satisfying ritual now. Drying a portion of your precious basil, not as a big, daunting project, as a gentle act of continuity. It's remarkably simple to do. Gather a few of the larger, healthy stems, perhaps 5 or 6 stems from the plant. Tie them gently at the base with string. Find a quiet, dry spot in your kitchen, away from direct sunlight and also humidity. A corner near the window works well, or hanging gently from a cupboard knob. Then, over the days, something subtle happens. You'll watch the leaves slowly shrink down, their vibrant green deepening, then crisping. As they slowly release their moisture, the aroma, initially fresh and bright now, it transforms into a warmer, concentrated essence, a scent of enduring flavor of something saved. When completely dry, they crumble easily. Gently strip leaves from stems, then store them in a small, airtight jar for later. And here is the quiet satisfaction you'll find. Many people simply don't expect it. You will look at that jar and feel capable. Not pride in a hack, but a deep sense. A feeling of extending the season yourself, of preserving a small piece of summer's warmth. Not in a dramatic, loud way, in a way that feels like dignity. Like quiet resourcefulness at your hands, because you worked in harmony with the plant. Its natural cycle, not demanding it stay forever. And the jar becomes more than seasoning now. It becomes a quiet reminder for you. You can nurture something, you can keep something, you can create comfort with your own hands. Even if, in deep winter, your potted basil fades. Having given its very best to you, the experience it offered still remains. You've learned to notice things, to tend with care, to anticipate growth, to harvest from it, to make a small ritual from an ordinary meal. And this quiet resilience, this understanding now, that life ebbs and flows with nature. Even in its passing, it leaves a legacy. This is a profound lesson a slow life teaches. It teaches without ever speaking a word. The dignity of your kitchen and your meals, it is not tied to extravagance or abundance. It is found in these small gestures, these conscious, thoughtful choices, that bonus insight, the quiet realization now. Is truly this for your life? Snipping a few leaves from your own plant is not just adding flavor to food. It is an act of dignity on a budget. It is a quiet declaration to yourself. Your meals, however simple, are chosen, not merely endured, but thoughtfully selected. Each leaf gathered is a small offering now, a gesture of self-care costing very little, but giving so much in emotional richness. It says, softly, I am worthy of this small beauty, this fresh taste, this thoughtful moment for myself. It reframes eating alone from isolating into something intentional, cherished now, a quiet communion with your careful tending. And now, as evening deepens further still, the last sliver of light retreats from the window. Let the scent of basil linger in your space, even if it's only a memory in deep winter. Perhaps you recall steam from a warm mug as you stood nearby your plant, or soft light catching a green leaf as you prepared your simple meal. These small sensory experiences now, gathered gently over time, they weave themselves into a tapestry of quiet comfort at home, a sense of being truly at home, not just within your kitchen walls, but truly at home with your own self, accompanied by nature's gentle rhythms. However small those rhythms may be, if you return to this table again on another quiet evening with a simple meal, there will always be room for companionship here. May your kitchen always hold growth's whisper, and may your simple meals always feel like a warm embrace. Good night.